Hello and thanks for joining me today in our food forest. This is a project that we started about 2.5 years ago. There are still some trees growing. We can see the pomegranate with the red flowers here, and there's almonds and apples and pears and all sorts of trees. Today's session is about planting seeds. So here in the food forest, we have literally planted seeds. You know, we're looking after nature. We're working with nature rather than against it, and this feels good. This feels really like being in contact with life and having a bigger project. Trees are amazing things to plant because they will outlive us if we plant them well. And so today we're going to be talking a little bit about a legacy project, but we're also going to be stretching and breathing and asking ourselves, what seeds would you like to plant, metaphorically or real seeds? So we often get caught right up in our daily lives, and if this is the case for you, then it could be really good just to chisel out, like protect yourself, like a half hour or 15 minutes just to sit on your chair, breathe, lengthen your muscles, reconnect to your bones, reconnect to your body, to your breath, and just calm down the thought waves. It's just a question of prioritizing some things. So let's begin with our practice. So just going to stretch to one side here. Just feeling how good it feels to like get some space in the body. Our organs, you know, as we get older, our organs, they sort of start to stick together a little bit and collapse down. So these sort of stretching up ones like this, they help us gain a little bit more space in our torso, lift up our organs and get some new blood going to them. So breathing and smiling. I'm going to do this in movement today, so we're just going to make some circles with the arms like this. Wonderful sounds of nature today. There was even like a cuckoo. Wonder if he'll come back in a second. Okay, and we tend to sort of like slunch over past probably even like, I've seen even 20-year-olds that are like all like this. But if this has been a habit our whole lives, then it can become a little bit stiff in the back here. Just put hands behind the head and just slowly open the elbows and breathe in our chest, very gently and slowly. And if you find you have racing thoughts around you, you're not stimulated enough, then just come back and breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen to the breath, listen to your breath. Because sometimes our mind is like all over the place and it just doesn't want to stay still. And this is so important to carve out these moments where we can get our mind to come back to ourselves and come really in the body, because as long as we're in our heads, that's when we cause a lot of trouble. When all this activity is going on, all these things I have to do, I don't know what to do, I get into this confusion. Slow down, come back to the body. And we're going to do this slightly more open with the arms and just slightly opening the shoulders here like this and breathing. And once you manage to go beyond this monkey mind, then you have won it for today, right? Okay, so we're going to just do some movements for our elbows. We might go click, 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 click. Okay, the other way. These are really just for the joints. They're not really for the muscles. Okay, for the wrists. Smiling. You know, we don't need any good reason to smile. Like, people don't need a good reason to have a frown. You know, when we have a frown, we don't need a reason really to frown. We don't need a reason to smile. So let's just put on our best smile. Yeah, but you know, sometimes we don't want to smile because we're afraid we're going to crack our face. Okay, like this with the wrists. Playing with you, eh? Playing with your arm. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're a very smiley person. Okay, shoulders, very gently. So we don't need to go do like hardcore things in the gym to feel like a sense of wellness and vibrancy flowing through our body. Okay, and then just like, let's do it dynamically. If you can, one hand on one knee, just sort of looking behind you a little bit. Okay, and then just rest on one side, comfortably, hand on the back of the chair. And breathing. It's going to take 5 deep breaths. Slow, steady. If you can, breathe with your nose. Okay, the other side. Had a wonderful conversation. The video that came out last week with Dr. Kerry Burnite. If you haven't watched it, I really recommend watching it. Beautiful. Especially if you're retired, but even if you haven't retired, it's good to know these things before, right? So she reminded us in this video, on our deathbed, on our funeral, people won't remember. They will remember how we treated them, how we were able to listen to them, how fun we were to be around. So that's part of a legacy project as well. How would you like to be remembered? You're already being remembered by people. We touch so many people's lives without even knowing it sometimes, right? But just being a little bit aware, how would I like to be remembered? And that changes our values, right? So we're cultivating these values rather than thinking we have to, I don't know, that legacy is all about leaving material things. Sometimes it's also the immaterial things that are equally as important for other people. Okay, we're just going to go forwards, up and down, otherwise I'm just going to get lost in words. There you go, up and down. And this is really good for the hips here, right? Can you feel that? So if we want to change our lives, come back and bring meaning, the first place to start is here on the chair. We don't need fancy apparatus. We don't need expensive gym memberships. We just need a chair and the right exercises to do, and carve out time to do it, of course. Okay, let's do our ankles now. Lift up our leg. Look at my cat that's here. Hey Callie, you gonna come and say hello to everybody? Got some really old chair yoga videos where once Callie cat, it was raining and she jumped on my back, and she was on my back for like nearly the whole time, for like 15 minutes just here, even when I was in positions like forward like that. Knees very gently. Now let's straighten and bend our knees a moment. Okay. And then just very small circles with the feet, the other direction. Okay, and then the hips. The other way. I read a story about an 80-year-old man in the US. He was an immigrant, changed legs, and he wrote a book. He wrote a book about the story of this village, this town, an immigrant town in the US. I think they're all immigrant towns in the US, right? But anyway, it had a story to it. Lots of things happened, and this man wrote a book about it. And he got the community involved, and he was writing a voice for the community, essentially. And so, straighten and knee. And so this, as a legacy project, is even more powerful when we get other people involved in it. They love to be part of projects, especially when it gives them a voice as well. So these are ideas for a legacy project as well. It's really good to get your teeth stuck into something, you know, especially when there's no pressure, economic pressure, right? But of course, you would like to write a book and not just have 2 or 3 people read it, right? You would like it to have an impact. So therefore, a book writing project becomes a community project. If we start to ask ourselves, what is it that would be really helpful? What would I like to share? And another really powerful way, if you have a strong message for a legacy project, is to let's put our knees together and hand on one side like this now. Another powerful legacy project, if you have a message or a strong story to say, would be to make a documentary about it. And this is something my wife does, actually. She's really good at drawing out the story from people, asking the right questions, making people feel at ease. And she's done it also with with old footage, you know. She's done it with people who have died, and the family has wanted to remember this person, and she's made some really great work around that. Okay, so we're just going to go all the way down now and just rest our heads down. Really relax your head, relax your head, relax your head down, and breathe. Use your hands, push on your hands to come up slowly. Hands on your knees. Come up very slowly, come up halfway. And then come all the way back up again. Nice deep breath with the arms. So I see the order of things is come back to our bodies, come back to our hearts, to our relationships, to our minds, come back to our playfulness, how we used to like to play as a kid, bring that energy back into our lives. Go on a pilgrimage, even a 4-day pilgrimage, and I'll have a free workshop around this theme. It's a great idea. You can go for longer pilgrimages, but even 4 days with an intention, with a question, gives you lots of answers for your life, and it gives you a reset. That's the important thing. It gives you a reset, gives you a stop. It's like gives you a 1st of January. So you go away, and it's like that's a turning point. This is why these mini pilgrimages are really good, solo pilgrimages to do. And then when you come back, then that's your legacy project phase of your life. That's the way I see it anyway. I think it's a cool plan. First of all, come back to our body. It doesn't mean fitness, it means the mind is in the body. So here we go. This is our easy balance. It is still a balance because you can feel yourself wobbling a tiny little bit. Every day, something to keep on balance. Put a hand down here and reach up a little bit. It's a little bit more intense. Or if not, just stay with your hands by your foot like this. If you can, lift up the other arm. Okay, wonderful. Other side. I should be in England for the next few videos, visiting Glastonbury and all the way down to Penzance. It'll be a change of scenery from the Italian countryside. No, we didn't do this one. Or keep your hands on there. Or first this one, it's a bit more difficult. Or keep your hand down. If you feel like it stresses your shoulder too much, we'll just keep it forward like this. And the other side. This is a bit more easy because we can open up our hips. Excellent. Coming back up again. Now, this is the same hand as the same leg. This is a good one to do. And breathing. Okay, we're going to rotate our arm here. Oiling our joints. That's what we're doing. So important to oil our joints. Get them moving. Synovial fluid that's in the joints. Get them moving. There you go, on the other side. And rotate the arm. Wonderful. So we're just, without the chair a second, we're just going to do some hips rotations. Slow. The other way. Okay. Now hold on to the chair a moment and just feel grounded. Feel supported by the floor, by the earth. Hold on to the chair so you're not going to fall over. Bend your legs slightly, very slightly. And if you feel like it, just close your eyes a moment. Just amplifies all the sensations in the body. Breathe, just 5 breaths like this. Okay, very gently open your eyes. Excellent. Okay, let's sit down again. And let's cross over our legs. Actually, let's put our leg foot here. This is a really good one if we're sitting down a lot, or if we're in a car a lot. Just come forwards, you can feel it right in your bottom. and breathe. Try and lengthen your spine. Don't hunch all over. Lengthen the spine. Very gently straighten your back up. Lift your leg. Put it down. And let's do the other side. If you can't get your leg up here, then just cross your ankles and do it like this. You'll be amazed that if you do these exercises regularly, how fast you will regain mobility. But don't rush at it. But you'll notice day after day, week after week, month after month, that you'll feel much more lightness and stability in the body, right? Deep breath. And down. Okay, coming back up again. Just going to close our eyes a moment, just for a minute or two. Listen to the sounds of the birds. Listen to the breath. And realizing that you can teach new tricks to old dogs. You know, there are lots of these sentences that we just tell ourselves which are absolute nonsense. At any moment, we can completely change our lives. Just feeling that possibility in the body. And very gently open eyes. Excellent. You see, meditating, concentration, once we're in the body, it's a lot easier. We could probably have stayed longer in the meditation today, but it's better to come out earlier than to suffer and be there for ages and ages, right? So I've been doing these videos for a few months now, and thank you for joining me. And the biggest joy for me, if you feel like it, will be to add a comment how you found this session today, and will be awesome. Thank you. Have an amazing day, and catch you next week in England.